अस्सलाम वालेकुम डियर स्टूडेंट्स। इस वीडियो में जॉइंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फंक्शंस को डिस्कस करेंगे। जैसा कि आपको याद होगा कि हम वन वेरिएबल से चले, हमने डिस्क्रीट रैंडम वेरिएबल स्टडी किए, कंटिन्यूस किए, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन या वो जो प्रोबेबिलिटी फंक्शन देखा और फिर साथ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फंक्शन। अब टू वेरिएबल्स के केस में भी एग्जैक्टली हम उसी पैटर्न को फॉलो करते चले आ रहे हैं। तो अगर आपके रैंडम वेरिएबल्स दो हो जाएं, एक को हम कैपिटल X से डिनोट कर लें, दूसरे को कैपिटल Y से डिनोट कर लें, एंड वी डिनोट इट लाइक दिस f of x y, which is actually the probability that this random variable will take value less than or equals to small x, and then this second random variable will take on value less than or equal to small y. Then this is how we define it. Now please note that when we talk about these distribution functions, we need to define them on the whole domain. For example, when we were discussing the case of one variable, the distribution function was defined on the whole real line. So now when we are dealing with this distribution function, this joint distribution function where we have two random variables, we will end up defining this on the whole R2. So please note that we have x from minus infinity to plus infinity and y from minus infinity to plus infinity. So that means we are talking about the whole R2, and we will, by the end of this lecture, we will be talking about a distribution function, given a distribution function, and how to retrieve the probability density function out of it. So just to get going, this was the relationship between for the one variable case. So this is f of x, and if I take its derivative, this gave me the probability density function for one variable. Now what will happen when we have two variables? So this is the formula which we will be following, that this is the joint distribution function in two variables. We need to take two derivatives, one with respect to x, the other with respect to y, and then from there we'll have the probability density function in two variables. We just to everything else theoretically is same except the fact that now we have two variables. So just to get some feeling of it, we take one example. This is a probability density function in two variables, and we define this function like that. This is x plus y when x is from 0 to 1 and y is from 0 to 1, and this is 0 otherwise. And what we need to do, we need to find the distribution function. Now, after looking at this example in two variables, you can generalize the pattern onto three variables, and then you can drag all that into n variables. So that means now I am interested in finding this f of x y for this whole R2. This is my target. I am looking for this f of x y for the whole R2. Now please note that when we have this distribution function, we accumulate those probabilities. So please note that this f of x y is 0 in this region, because this is how we define it. From 0 to 1, within this square, we have our f of x y as x plus y. So within this square we have x plus y, and this is 0 over here. So if my x is negative and my y is negative, so when my x is negative, that means I'm talking about this region. So I'm accumulating nothing in terms of probability. When y is negative, I am on this region. So I'm getting nothing in terms of probability. I've got nothing. So ultimately we'll be having f of x y equals to 0 when x is negative or y is negative. So that means now we are left with only one situation where x and where we have this first quadrant. And with respect to this first quadrant, now we have few situations. We have, for example, this scenario. If I am interested in finding f of x y within this square, what I'll do? I'll simply, I know my x is from 0 to 1, my y is from 0 to 1, and I'm looking for a function in terms of x and y. So what I'll do is, I'll introduce dummy variables s and t, and I'll integrate my function with the help of these dummy variables, and then I'll replace this s and d with appropriately x and y, so that at the end I obtain a function in terms of x and y. So when x is from 0 to 1, y is from 0 to 1, we have f of x y, that was x plus y. So s corresponds to x, t corresponds to y, so we have this s plus t. We make this integration, and after this integration we end up having, after this very simple computation, we end up having this expression. So that means my f of x y within this square is this thing, 1 over 2xy times x plus y. Now please mind, when we move in this direction, when x is greater than 1, now when x is greater than 1, I have two possibilities. One possibility is that y is in this range, y is from 0 to 1. And the next possibility is that y is greater than 1. So I am considering the case when x is greater than 1 and y is from 0 to 1. So we will do what? Whatever we have accumulated in the direction of x, we will replace that. We will have 0 to 1, so that the contribution along x comes, and then we will have this 0 to y. So we'll be moving inside this region. So this 0 to y, and then again the same s plus t ds dt, and then after the simple computation I will have an answer only in terms of y, because I have consumed all x वाला जो लिमिट्स थी वो हमने यूज कर ली. Now we look at this. Now please note that y is greater than 1, so y is greater than 1. We are on this direction, but x is somewhere here. X is somewhere there. Now when x is somewhere there, so that means we are in the third region. So what will happen then? Now we will do what? We will integrate this y from 0 to 1, and for x we will keep this x as variable, and mind you, this x is from 0 to 1. So we will have this very simple computation, we have very simple integration, and after replacing the limits we will have this 1 over 2 x times x plus 1. You can verify the computations yourself. And then when x is 1, x is 1 over here, and y is 1 over here. When x is greater than 1, I am here. When x is greater than 1, that means we are there. So when y is greater than 1, we are there. So that means in this region we have x is greater than 1 and y is greater than 1. So that means I am talking about the fourth region. When I am talking about the fourth region, that means I will accumulate the probabilities from all the probability in the x direction and the y direction. So we will do what? We will have this 0 to 1 limit, and then we will have 0 to 1 limit, and we will integrate, and the sum of probabilities, as you know, should be 1, and you can verify by the computation this will be 1. So after all this computation, we can summarize it. Now we will be noting down that we have f of xy for the whole R2 now. Now when x is negative, y is negative, this f of xy is 0. When x is from 0 to 1 and y is from 0 to 1, we have this expression. When x is greater than 1 and y is from 0 to 1, we have this expression. When x is from 0 to 1 and y is greater than 1, we have this expression. And when x and y both are greater than or equal to 1, we have accumulated all the probabilities. So then over there we will be having f of x y equals to 1. So that means we have defined this f of x y for the whole R2 now. And just to look into the fact that if we are given the distribution function, how to identify the probability density function. So I take this one example. Let's suppose you are given with this distribution function. I take its derivative with respect to x and y, and then we obtain this function. Out of this function, I obtain this function after taking two derivatives. I've not done computations, and these computations are rather simple, so I'll encourage you to do these computations yourself. And then further, if someone asks you to identify the probability when x is from 1 to 3 and y is from 1 to 3, you already have the probability density function, so you will integrate with respect to y, this is from 1 to 2, and with respect to x, this is from 1 to 3, and the probability density function is e to the power minus x plus y dx dy. So after this very simple computation and by the use of calculator, you can identify the answer. Now what in this lecture I've simply done a little modification in what we learned for the one variable. In one variable, whatever we did from the probability density function, we computed the distribution function for one variable, and we uses the single integral. Now in this case we have two variables and we'll be using the double integral. If in case you have three variables, you will follow the same pattern. In case you have n variables, you can generalize it to n variables. So in my next lecture, I'll be talking about the marginal distributions and associated concepts. So in this video, this is what I have to say. Thank you very much.